folks. Welcome back to the channel. Today's custody proceedings challenge the idea that mothers are always the more responsible parent. The father in this case has been raising his child alone for over a year. Now he's in court to make it official. Even though the mother handed over care, she still had visitation. But when the child returned from visits with injuries and unanswered questions, the situation took a turn. A fall down the stairs, a deep cut across the face, and somehow a 7-year-old was left in charge. The court is now left to sort out the reality of this situation. Let's see how the judge addresses this case.
All right, this time, the court's going to go ahead and call. Bell County calls number 24 DFAN 346834. This is in the interest of Ferdinand, minor child, non-custodial party being Harmony L. Phillips, custodial party being Anthony C. Ferdinand. I'm sorry, I'm probably mispronounced that. It's Is that Ferrand or Ferdinand? I'm sorry.
Ferrand, sir.
Ferrand, okay, thank you. The custodial party is Anthony C. Ferrand, and this is before the court on a original petition to suit affecting parent-child relationship with AOP. Court will note for the record that both parties have been served, that Ms. Phillips was served on the 18th of July, and Mr. Ferrand was served on the 24th of July last year. So both parties have been noticed and served in conformity with the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure. So at this time, I ask the state for an opening to tell the court what the state's requesting we do here today, whether or not we're asking this to be a temporary order or a final order. I see Ms. Mayer is in this matter. I did not see an answer. Ms. Mayer, are you representing Mr. Ferrand?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then. So I'll know for the record that counsel is present at this time. And like I said, I'll ask for an opening statement from the state to tell the court what the state's requesting we do here today. And then I'll ask for an opening from Ms. Mayer. Like I say, I'll still go through the file one more time, but I didn't see any type of counter petitions or any type of service on the mom on that. So I'll just hear what the opening statements are, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's the state's understanding that Ms. Meyer and her client would prefer a final order, as would the state. Specifically, Your Honor, we're asking this court to proceed in default of Ms. Phillips, name father the primary joint managing conservator without a geographic restriction, that the father maintain both health and dental for the child through his employer, with the mother reimbursing at the cap of each, taking into account her income, which she did report to father, and her 3 other minor children. We're also asking for all current support to begin March 1st. Mr. Ferrand is asking for 6 months of retroactive support, so beginning September 1 of 2024. And once that judgment's approved, Your Honor, appropriate repayment, that'll go through in testimony. And additionally, Your Honor, Mr. Ferrand is not seeking non-disclosure. He's willing to have his address in the court order and update the mother, since testimony will be that he and mother do already know each other's contact information. I believe the biggest concern for the father, Your Honor, is that the mother's visitation with the child be supervised until his 5th birthday. And it's the state's understanding there will be evidence regarding a CPS investigation that's currently open with regard to the mother.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Ms. Mayer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. We are just asking for a joint managing conservatorship with father as the custodial parent. There is a CPS case open. The child has been injured a few times, as you'll see in the evidence, and we don't believe that it's safe for the child to be at mom's, at least while he can't speak for himself. He has lived with dad for the last 18 months, which is most of his life. He won't be 3 until July. So we are asking for possibly a step up and maybe give mom a chance to have overnights after the child can speak up and tell us who's hurting him.
Sure.
I'm sorry. We're asking for, as the OAG said, child support and medical reimbursement. Dad does have a good job and pays for the medical insurance and dental. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Sorry, you cracked up on me a little bit. That's why I went ahead and started talking. Sorry, there was a little time delay there. Sorry about that. I'm not sure if that was on your end or my end, but hey, technical difficulties, we live with them. All right, this time I'll go ahead and then swear Mr. Ferrand in, and let's get some testimony, and let's see if we can make this a final. Mr. Ferrand, sir, raise your right hand. Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm me testimony you're going to give this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes, sir.
All right,
I do.
sir, you're officially under oath, and I'll allow the state to go ahead and proceed. Thank you. And call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Mr. Ferrand. Sir, what is your full name?
My name is Anthony Craig Ferrand.
Who is the child in this case?
Legend Jazeel Tremaine Ferrand.
How are you related to Legend?
He is my son.
And sir, who is Legend's mother?
Harmony Phillips.
And sir, is it correct that after your son's birth, you and Miss Phillips signed a document called an acknowledgement of paternity, stating that you are in fact his parents?
I signed the birth certificate. Yes, ma'am.
And sir, when you got a copy of the state's pleadings, you understood there to be a document attached to it, which was called the acknowledgement of paternity?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, were you able to hear my opening statement to the court describing the relief I believe the three of us are requesting today?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, at this time, who does Legend live with?
He lives with me.
How long has that been the case?
He's been living with me for a year and a half since July or August of 2023.
And sir, was your son coming to live with you something that Miss Phillips agreed to?
Yes, ma'am. She insisted on it. She moved all of her other children in with her sister and told me, if you don't get him, he's moving in with my sister.
And sir, how many other children does Miss Phillips have?
She has 3.
What are their ages, if you know?
9, 7, and 6.
And sir, at this time, do you know Miss Phillips's whereabouts?
No, ma'am, I do not.
How often, if at all, do you and she communicate?
Me and her, we normally don't communicate that often, but I do call her every day so she could talk to her son. I FaceTime her once a day at around 7 or 7:30. I don't speak. It's just her and my son.
And sir, since you indicated that happens every day, did she and your son have a conversation yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
And nothing came up, sir, with regard to today's court date?
No, ma'am.
And then, sir, as far as Miss Phillips's work or income, are you aware of what that is?
Yeah, she works at BMR Janitorials in Austin. My grandmother is a manager. She got her hired on. She makes $26 an hour.
And sir, how long ago was that information confirmed for you?
Talked to my grandma last month. She's still working up there. She's been there for 2 years.
And as far as you know, sir, is Miss Phillips a full-time employee?
Yes, she is.
And sir, at this time, how does your son have health coverage?
I pay for his health coverage through my employer.
And does your son also have dental insurance through your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, based on the information that you and your attorney were able to provide, you understand that I calculated your monthly cost to just cover Legend for medical was $148.13.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the dental cost just for Legend was $13.44.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, sir, as far as the mother's income, you understand that I had calculated her current child support to be $542 as long as the mother is reimbursing you as much as she can for both the medical and dental insurance.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, sir, as far as the back child support or retroactive period, you are not seeking that for the full 18 months. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. She helped out, I would say, a total of 6 months throughout that entire year and a half.
And so, sir, when I announced to the court, we're looking at starting September 1 of 2024 and going through today's date based on her regular income and the fact that she has 3 other children. You understood the judgment amount I calculated to be $3,355.02.
Yes, ma'am.
And if the court grants that, sir, do you have any problem with the state requesting that Ms. Phillips repay that at $67 a month beginning March 1st?
No, ma'am.
And that, sir, obviously would be on top of the current child support, current medical support, and current dental support.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ferrand, do you have any concerns about your physical address appearing in the court's order?
No, ma'am, I do not.
At this time, do you and Miss Phillips already know where each other lives?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you were to move, sir, do you have any problem updating her with your contact information if it changes?
No, ma'am, not at all.
And finally, sir, with regard to the visitation, what type of visitation has Miss Phillips had in the past?
Supervised visitation. She comes to my home, or I go to her home sometimes.
And how often would she come?
Once a week, or once every other week.
Okay. And sir, given your son's age, would you say that he's a healthy child?
Yes, ma'am.
How verbal is he at this point?
He's pretty verbal. When he's hungry, he tells me. Thirsty, when he wants something, he,
All right.
he he tells me, or he brings me his cup or his bowl. He's pretty. If he can't speak it, he can sign it, or he can tell me. He can tell me in his own way.
What, if any, concerns do you have about him spending time with his mother unsupervised?
Like I said, I sent in. He has had multiple injuries coming home from her home, and it's just a safety concern for me.
And sir, those instances when your son was injured, was anyone supervising the mother at the time?
No.
Why did that happen, that she had him by herself?
This was before he fell down the stairs, and she didn't show me any signs. I didn't see any signs that he was getting injured in the beginning, and then once I did see those signs, I didn't want him to go back over there.
How long ago did the injury you're describing occur?
Over a year.
And what exactly was the injury and what happened when you observed it?
He fell down the stairs. I had called her. She told me he fell down the stairs. I asked her, "Where were you? What happened?" She said her 7-year-old son at the time was watching him, and she asked him what happened, and he couldn't explain. And I didn't. After that moment, I didn't feel comfortable with him being back over there.
Were any authorities alerted to this?
Not the authorities. CPS was involved. They closed the case. It's just after that, I still, felt uncomfortable and worried about his safety.
Did Miss Phillips resist your new requirement that you be around when she had Legend?
Yes.
And even though she wasn't in agreement, that continued to be how your son and she interacted in person?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, sir, since the supervised visits were imposed by you, how long has how many has she had?
Um, it's pretty much been almost all of last year.
And sir, at this point, what is the CPS involvement, if any?
With me, none. With her, I don't know. I don't know if they closed the case or not.
And sir, the case that was open, is it the same one you from the incident you described or something different?
That was for something different.
Okay. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, sir, where are her other children right now? Do you know?
No, sir. I'm not sure if they live with her or her sister.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Myers, is it Mayor or Meyer? I'm sorry.
It's Meyer. That's fine.
All right, Ms. Meyer, you're a witness. Thank you.
Thank you. And please excuse my dogs every once in a while go off. So I'll mute if they go crazy.
All right, hey, that never happens with my dog. Okay. Yeah. Yesterday, a day before yesterday, jumped in the car with a perfect stranger and refused to get out. So
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So yeah, there we go.
Okay.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Farrand, so do you believe it's in the best interest of the child for him to remain living with you?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you believe it's in the best interest of the child to continue the supervised visitation as long as he is so young?
Yes, ma'am. My son can't tell me what's going on at this moment of his life. He can't speak, so I don't know what goes on when he's somewhere else.
Now, the injury, these photos have been admitted to evidence, Your Honor. I don't know if you'll be able to see them because they've been forwarded a few times. But in the photos where your son has a big bulging bump on his head, can you tell us what you were told, how that occurred?
The one with the big bump on his head, that's when he fell down the stairs.
Okay. And so you're telling us that a 7-year-old child was supposed to be supervising the 1-year-old baby?
That's what she told me. When I told her what's going on, what happened, she asked her 7-year-old son, and he said, I don't know. So that's what I assumed.
Okay, and another piece of evidence we admitted the child has a bad cut across his face.
Yes.
How that happened?
She told me he fell and hit the coffee table, and then I said, I tried to get more information from her, but that's all she gave me.
Okay. And as to the other injuries, do you know about how many there have been?
I think there's been 2 other ones. But the ones that I sent in are the ones that I took pictures of. All the other ones, she didn't give me a square answer on how that happened.
So do you feel it is in the best interest of the child to continue this until he is 5 years old, which we believe would be a verbal age for him to be able to tell you what's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
And then after that point, do you believe that he needs to have a step up type of program set up for him for the visitation?
Yes, ma'am. I believe so.
Okay. Do you have any other concerns about your child as far as mom goes, or is it just these injuries that are not explained?
It's just the safety, ma'am. It's just the injuries that aren't explained.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Friend. Yeah, I understand she still works for the same company out of Travis County. Does she live in Travis County? Do you know?
No, sir. She lives in Killeen.
Oh, okay. So she commutes. All right, got it. All right, thank you. And sir, what city do you live in?
Temple, Texas.
All right, good enough then. Thank you. Anything on redirect, Miss Bongat?
Just briefly, Your Honor.
Go right
Mr.
ahead.
Ferrand, do you know if Ms. Phillips has ever served in the military?
No, she has not.
And sir, do you know if she's ever received any type of disability finding?
No, ma'am, she has not.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, I pass the witness.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, folks, I'm looking at going ahead at this time based on this testimony, and if y'all want to go ahead and make it final, I'll make it. I'm looking at making it final. I'm looking at naming Dad the sole managing conservator at this time. I'm sorry, I'm joint managing conservator with the right to decide domicile that rights unrestricted. I'm going to give Mom joint managed conservatorship, but I am going to restrict her visitation based on this testimony. Nothing could be more frightening to me than not knowing if my child's going to be safe going to someone else, going where they're going, and coming back with injuries. Yeah, that's just, and unexplained injuries are always problematic. Don't know who's doing them, so you just can't weed it out if you don't know who's doing these things. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and name her joint managed conservator, but I'm going to only give her the right to visitation as requested. I'm going to give her on the record, obviously they seem to be able to work things out, but I'll give her automatically the first, third, and fifth Saturdays of the month from 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. On those first, third, and fifth Saturdays, and any other time she and the father can come to an agreement. Sounds like they're working things out, so I'll let them do that above and beyond. I'll also give her FaceTime access. I usually do that on Sundays at 6 p.m. So she can have that also, and they can agree to anything else above and beyond that. I'm going to go ahead and do this and keep this schedule until the child turns 5 years old. And after the child turns 5 years old, I'm going to use my traditional step-up visitation of the first visits being we'll start with the second step. If Mom has completed within the prior 6 months, has seen the child on the first, third, and fifth Saturdays for 4 hours 6 times, then she gets to move to the next level up, which will be where she gets to pick the child up for 4 hours. But at that level, I'm going to keep at 8 visits. I usually make them 6, but based on these circumstances, I'm going to make each level at 8 going forward. The first 8 for 4 hours, then the second 8 for the all day Saturday, and then the final 8 overnights, and then she gets to move the standard if there's no further order from this court that's based on those circumstances. I'm gonna go ahead and grant the child support as requested, the cash medical and health insurance as requested, cash medical and the dental as requested, the retro is requested, and the repayment as requested. I'm going to go ahead and order that the child support starts the first day of March, and the repayments and everything else start the first day of March. Mr. Ferran, do you know whether or not she has her or the children were on any type of Medicaid grant as far as their health insurance was concerned?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. All right then. Well, I'm real reluctant to go ahead and order her to pay court costs, so I'm going to waive them based on that. So, because sounds like she may have been on, based on her circumstances, there may have been some other items. And also, I received the packet of the requested evidence that the Mr. Ferrand and his attorney submitted. I'm going to mark these as respondent fathers number 1. Is there any objection to them coming in, Keeler, with this being Ms. Mongat as respondent fathers number 1?
None, Your Honor.
All right, fathers number 1 are admitted, and based on some of the information, the court's probably going to go ahead and seal that information going forward, because there is a lot of private information in this exhibit. So I will admit it, and I will seal it for only the review by me or the district judge who assigned this case to me. So that was a long rendition. So is there anything else specifically, Ms. Mongat, you need me to rule on, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Mary, anything else, ma'am?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rand, good luck, sir. He's cue as a button, and but believe me, he's going to grow out of that. Okay, he's going to grow out of that and get really, really obstinate with you. Okay, because believe me, once he's 16, he's going to know everything on you. All right, but good luck, sir. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you for being there for your son, sir. And I'll go ahead and let the state and prepare that order and circulate it to you and your counsel. And we're off the record. Thank you.
The mother's absence was very telling. She had every chance to defend herself and show up for her child, but chose not to be there or submit any objections or counterclaims regarding the proceedings. That solidified the court's ruling in favor of the father. Some will still insist that she should have another chance because she's the mother. But it makes you wonder, why does society refuse to hold mothers accountable when they step away from their children? And why are fathers who take on full responsibility treated like they're just helping out and undervalued? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gripping courtroom moments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.